and welcome into the Wheelhouse here at LA and Lifestyle, episode 21 of the show, and we are in the midst of our Thanksgiving hangover, as it's already Sunday. Like, I knew these 4 days would go super quick, as they always do, but, back to the real life tomorrow, which sucks, but it is a fun time of year because you're in that period of in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So some more whatever you do for the holidays time coming up. So how was your Thanksgiving, Matt?
It was pretty good. I got to spend time with my family that I spent time with during the Thanksgiving holiday. We have my in-laws over, so that was really nice and fun. I like to cook Thanksgiving dinner, so I was able to do that. So I had fun doing that. How about you? Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, just hung out with family and stuff like that, and it's always a good time of year for that. Thanksgiving shouldn't be really an excuse to get together with family, but at least it does bring people together that maybe you don't see all the time, or maybe you don't see until the holidays. So there you go. And again, Christmas coming up. We're in the stretch run of the NFL. How about that, Matt? NFL from Thursday to Monday night. It's only day we didn't have. It was weird having a Friday night game.
Yeah, that was odd, and I'm sure we're gonna get into it, but yeah, it was. Were you excited to watch football? Like, did you like Thursday? I get excited, right? Because the Packers are playing the Lions, so of course I'm going to get excited there. But like moving on after that, it's like Friday. Were you ready to watch an NFL game on Friday? I know college football is Friday, all the rivalry games and all that stuff that they have there, but or through the weekend they have rivalry games too. But were you excited to watch the NFL?
I forgot the game was on, to be honest.
Me too. I was driving around and I was listening. I caught something on the radio. I was like, oh, let me tune into that. And then, that was a crap game. That was a crappy game. It really was.
Yeah.
It's like, in my opinion, that's a microcosm of what the NFL season is, in my opinion. That football game right there.
Yeah, it's just, number one, again, it was weird to have football on Friday night. And again, I know the NFL junkies are going to love football almost every day.
Right.
Especially every day except Saturday, this week at least. So there was a lot to be consumed if you're a football fan. So I guess that's good for the diehards out there. And again, we've touched on this in past shows, Matt. I don't know. This is maybe the least amount of football I've ever watched in a season. I don't know what it is. On one of your ball sports episodes, you just said football sucks. I don't know what it is about this season. So we're going to start with football, end with football, and we'll cram in a little bit of college football in there, as well as the regular season has concluded, and then I want to get into this NBA issue as well. As you can catch us on our home base, e5280sports.com. Go check out Cam Becker's up there with the latest Between the Lines, Fantasy Talk with Tom. That was up there on Wednesday because we had so many NFL games. So if you missed that is on the front page as well. And then, of course, Undrafted, Uncensored, they just went live last night, and the podcast is getting posted as we speak. So go check those guys out as well. So, and do all the socials if you want. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 5280 Sports Radio. Follow us on X. Go and give it to you. That's the same as YouTube at 5280 Sports Radio. Follow us on Instagram, like the Facebook page, all the good stuff right there. So, yeah, we had the normal three on Thanksgiving Day, Matt, the normal three that you normally get on Thanksgiving Day. And, it's usually the Lions are mixed in there, the Cowboys are always in there, and then it's kind of I don't even know what you call the third game, but your Packers took down the Lions 29-22. Are you wearing a Lions jersey? What is that?
No, it's a Chargers jersey. It's a Tomlinson jersey.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some fantasy football luck today. I need to get something going, and this is from the first year I won fantasy football league, because of course remember when he went crazy, so I had to buy the jersey.
I used to have that exact same one, so
it's a badass jersey. I mean, LT's freaking tremendous. So yeah.
So yeah, your Packers took care of the Lions, as the Lions were on a roll until Thursday, 29-22. The Cowboys absolutely destroyed the Commanders 45-10, and the 49ers took care of the Seahawks 31-13. And then on Friday, that weird game, the Dolphins crushed the Jets 34-13. A lot of people saying, should Robert Saleh be fired? And I just saw this meme, Matt. It says, time to take a live look in at all the guys that Aaron Rodgers brought to the Jets. And it said Nathaniel Hackett, worst offensive coordinator in the league. It said Alan Lazard lately has been a healthy scratch. And it said Dalvin Cook, 3 carries for 30 yards or something like that.
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
And then it also said, Randall Cobb. 3 catches on 13 targets and only 30 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, is it? And that's just like I said. You look at all those games, except for the Packers-Lions game. They were all blowouts. None of them were close. 4 extra points were missed, and there could be more. I maybe missed one, but 4 extra points were missed. Just football in general, in my opinion, is not as good, even close to being as good as it has been in the past 5 years. And I think kickers have a lot to do with that. The quarterback position has a lot to do with that. Tua Tagovailoa looked like crap on Friday. I know they won. I know they came and went crazy, but it was disgusting. That whole game. Dak Prescott, who is getting love about being in the MVP race, and it's only because there's not a lot of other good quarterback performances out there that we can look at. And because he wasn't that good up until, the defense started to take over. So, yeah, football, as far as NFL goes, outside of that Packers-Lions game, which I had vested interest in, I was disappointed and it was, in my opinion, garbage.
And I'm actually glad that Dak is doing what he's doing, because he is on the old fantasy roster. So
that's good for you. Yep.
Except for last week. He's won me like 3 games, single-handedly won me 3 games. So, and another 30-plus point performance on Thursday. So he's racking it in. So, yeah,
that's all you need.
What is your take about the Jets? I mean, when you have quarterback problems as much as they do, and now a lot of people are calling out your boy A-Rod for lying about the injury, or for the Jets lying about the injury. And we even brought it up. Is this dude bionic? He's already like ready to come back. The goat urine, or the whatever kind of stuff he's injected into it to get that right. And then you saw the Miami guy on a freak play literally just come off the line of scrimmage, and you can see his Achilles pop.
Yeah.
It's just those injuries are just, I don't know if they're freak injuries or just bad luck or whatever you call it, but Aaron Rodgers already ready to come back.
It's the Jets, and yeah, you know what? You can point at Aaron Rodgers and blame him for because 2 seasons, because the Jets season's ruined, right? It's done. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to have a playoff run. It's over. But you can look at, and in the big picture stuff, big picture thing, you can look at and see, did Aaron Rodgers ruin 2 team seasons by just the fact that one guy, and I'm talking about Nathaniel Hackett, who's probably the worst coach that we have seen coach in the NFL, in 2 seasons, have the spotlight on him and do a dog water job at coaching. The only reason why he was hired here in Denver, and I mean, we're not going to pretend anymore, right? He was hired here to get Aaron Rodgers here. Aaron Rodgers didn't come here. He did not come here. ruined the Broncos season because they had to go Russell Wilson. We all remember that, what happened there. Blame that on Aaron Rodgers. Now you look at the Jets. They trade they trade all kinds of assets for him. They acquire everything that Aaron Rodgers wants. Even the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, they got him. The only reason why he's there is because Aaron wants him there. And what happens? He gets hurt. Unfortunate, whatever you want to call it, gets hurt. And then now the Jets season's ruined because it was all loaded up and it was all based off of one guy being there in Aaron Rodgers. So you could say Aaron Rodgers ruined 2 NFL football teams' seasons in back-to-back years because he just did not show up to play football. In this one, he gets hurt. Okay, unfortunate, blah blah blah. But at the same time, if you just think about the reasons why these teams hired this guy, Nathaniel Hackett, in the first place, was because they thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be there with him. Now you look at Nathaniel Hackett, he can't coach himself out of a wet paper bag. It's ridiculous. This guy has a job, and I don't think I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is not going to come back. I think the Jets are probably going to try to do that. They're going to try to run it back one more year. This year's, I don't know if Robert Saleh is going to get that. I don't know. But the Jets look like crap. They look stupid. They got egg. They got whatever you want to call it. Something else all over. They got poop all over the face. I don't know what you want to call it. They got stuff all over their face, and they look like crap right now because they pushed all their chips into the pot, and then now they are busted. They are out. They look like they are in turmoil. So I don't know what's next for the Jets. I think if the grand plan was to have Aaron Rodgers and to see what you can do with Aaron Rodgers with that, but all these guys, Garrett Wilson looks so miserable there, and it's just I don't know what's going to happen next season or rest of the year. If they bring Aaron Rodgers back and they let him play, that's a mistake. All I see right there is you remember Friday Night Lights. Remember when Booby's lying to everybody saying, I'm fine, my ACL's fine, and he's standing on the sideline. Y'all want to win? You got to put Booby in. And then he finally puts him in, and what happens? Shreds his entire knee, gone for his career. I don't think that they're going to put Aaron Rodgers in that position now, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to be in that position now. But I think at least there's the thought that they're going to run it back again next year. But right now, my goodness, it looks awful over there.
Well, yeah, and maybe we wouldn't be having this discussion if Aaron Rodgers never got hurt, right?
Correct.
And Robert Saleh would be probably in a pretty good position. Nathaniel Hackett, all his flaws would be masked by the play of Aaron Rodgers. Let's face it. It'd be a whole different discussion. And if Zach Wilson was keeping this team afloat, like he was for a couple weeks at least, maybe Aaron Rodgers could come back. And I don't know if it was Aaron Rodgers who said it or somebody paraphrasing him or this, whatever, saying he wants to come back even if the Jets don't have any playoff hopes, which, let's face it, those hopes are dashed or have been dashed quickly already. So I don't know. It's weird. And again, like you said, if he comes back and ruins himself in a non-playoff season, then that's pretty stupid for all parties involved.
Right.
And then, you might as well wait until next year and try again. Maybe give it one more year with the current staff, current whatever. Players are going to always be interchangeable, but I don't know. Yeah, again, if he's been healthy this whole time, it's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, and that's mind-boggling. If he has been healthy, or it wasn't as bad as the ruptured Achilles as they were saying, that's something different. Because then you're looking at like, well, why? What's the holdup? Why are we holding it back? What's this and that? And I don't know exactly what the draft compensation was. I know that there was some kind of something to where along the lines of if he makes it through this far, or if he does this or he does that, then the Packers get this pick, they get that. I'm not, again, all reaction, no research here, so I don't know the draft compensation. But if they're this bad, and then those draft picks, I mean, are they going to be able to have those draft picks? That's what's curiosity to me. But if I don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to go from here. I don't know where they could trade him. I mean, maybe Washington can come up because Washington's going to go through change. I don't know if there's an opportunity for the Jets to get out from this and just start all over again. But at the very least, they're gonna try to run it again next year. So, in my mind, that's why you see Tim. That's why you see Tim Boyle is out there slinging the rock. Right? I mean, my goodness, that poor guy. I feel bad for him.
The Hail Mary, is that what they're calling it?
The Hail Mary for a touchdown right after you just did the unthinkable to like it was so Jets. It was so Jets. They were back in the game. Mike, they were back in the game. And going into halftime. And then Nathaniel Hackett's like, okay, let's call 4 verts, Hail Mary, let's just air it out. What? Like what? Just hey, kneel the ball, get the hell out of there, get in the locker room, and let's figure out how we can make it a game in the second half because we're right there, guys. But no. Heck no. Boyle, hey Boyle, I know you really haven't done a lot this year. We just threw you in the fire now. Throw this one deep, dude. And then let's get all these guys over. We got to get offensive linemen and skill position players who want nothing to do with contact to make it. It was. My God, my goodness, my freaking goodness. But yeah, if I'm the Jets, you got to run it back. You got to at least get everybody healthy, get everybody right, get rid of all Aaron Rodgers' buddies because they're not like Lazard was a healthy scratch, like you mentioned. They bring Dalvin Cook in, they don't even use him. It's mind-boggling everything that's going on there with the Jets, and I don't see Saleh losing his job this year because you can't blame this on him. I don't know how much of this was him and how much of it was the Jets front office wanting to push and get all this going. So you got to run it back at least. You got to run it back. That would be my mindset.
Yeah, and for Aaron Rodgers to come back to try to finish this season is kind of stupid. And,
dumb, yeah.
But you know, Aaron Rodgers would be like, yeah, I want to play. They're going to be like, that's when you have to kind of sack up and be like, dude, we're trying to preserve you, and we'll try this again next year. We'll try to bring in better pieces. We're going to get rid of all your homies because they suck, and they haven't done anything this year. And I get it. Zach Wilson has been slinging the rock around, if you even want to say that. And I know your boys aren't getting the rock because that guy can't really do what you do. So we're just going to, kind of put a bow on this thing and try again next year. That's going to be the plan going forward. And again, we'll try to bring you in some pieces. By the way, I don't know if you saw this video meme. I don't know what you call video memes, but they had this clip of it was the Hail Mary.
What the hell?
And it was, I guess Robert Saleh did a toothbrush or toothpaste commercial.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
And he put the play calling sheet above his face, and then the Hail Mary happened, and he was brushing his teeth during it, so he didn't see it. It's a pretty funny video, so go check that out. By the way, the Miami Dolphins again get that victory, so they are now 8-3 on the season. The Packers, on the flip side of things, ironically, kind of keeping their season alive at 5-6 now. Detroit falls to 8-3, and again, the Cowboys are undefeated at home. By the way, they're 8-3 now. Washington goes to 4-8 on the season, and the 49ers get back on track. They're 8-3. Seattle falls to 6-5. So those were your 4 games over the start of the holiday weekend. Again, 3 games on Thanksgiving Day, and then that kind of weird one that snuck in on Friday. So that is what happened over the weekend. We're going to return to football, do our normal rundown of the Week 12 games. But I don't know if you've seen this, Matt, and I'm sure you have. As every year, just like the NFL, how they're like, we're going to emphasize on taunting penalties. And I don't know if you saw the clip. It was a pretty cool clip of the referees talking to Tyreek Hill. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And he said, and the referee was like, hey, just don't do one thing for me. Don't give the peace on the way to the end zone. And Tyreek Hill had a funny reaction or, response to it. And he said, I'm just trying to spread world
peace. Yeah.
He's like, and then he asked if he could do something else. And I forgot what he said. And the ref thought about it for a second. He's like, no. We don't want to penalize you. Just don't do anything resulting in a taunting penalty or unsportsmanlike, whatever you want to call it. And so,
and that's preventative officiating. They do that a lot, and that's, to me, we need to see that. We need to see more of that. I don't know why we don't see more of that. That would help a lot of the questioning and what's going on with because the official even said too, don't make us make a decision on what you're doing or what you're trying to do. And that's the whole thing about officiating in that sense. The player does something, and now the official has to make a decision on intent. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to show this guy up? If you are, that's a flag. If you're just putting your peace sign up because you're spreading world peace, okay, then that's not a flag. But don't make me make that decision. And that was great to see that. I wish we could see more of that, though, Mike. I wish we could see more of that. But yeah, that was
on your way to the end zone. Don't turn around and say peace to the guy that you're
right.
that you're obviously beating to the end zone. If you want to get into the end zone and look at the crowd and give the peace sign, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it, flying by a dude into the end zone. Because anytime you start to turn around, Matt, and I get, looking over your shoulder, see if anybody's chasing you, that's one thing. But to turn around and make some kind of gesture,
right,
with your hands or whatever, that's always going to be flagged as
correct,
as a taunting penalty. So that brings me to no communication in the NBA whatsoever. As we're seeing guys getting thrown out left and right for trying to, talk to officials. I get it; it's the heat of the moment, and you have the referee officiating background, Matt. So I'm going to take your word for it. But kind of going back to the Chris Paul ejection a couple of days ago, I guess him and Scott Foster have some, previous experience in talking to each other, we'll say, and so. It took no time for Scott Foster to throw out Chris Paul. And say what you will about Chris Paul. I don't know if he's a nice guy. He seems, when the Nuggets played the Suns I know he got hurt in that series, but, kind of see like a pestering little dude trying to get in there and scrape up with a few guys. But do referees now in the NBA just have too quick a whistle? It seems like they get offended way too quickly. And again, trying to emphasize whatever, just like the hanging on the rim thing. That's a new emphasis this season. We saw LeBron get a technical yesterday in his return to Cleveland. And I saw 3 different social media outlets post LeBron getting an ejection or a technical for hanging on the rim. I was like, are we really highlighting this dude's technical fouls now? Is that what we're doing? And again, if you follow me on Twitter, man, I'm an in-game rage tweeter. So
it's tremendous. It's so much fun.
I'm just like, are we really highlighting this dude's technical fouls now? Is that what we're doing? But that brought me to hanging on the rim, and we've seen it all throughout this early season so far. And I don't know what it is, man. It's just it comes in and then it kind of fades out as soon as another emphasis comes in. But we saw Aaron Gordon get the same foul, but he hung on the rim, but then he tapped the glass, the backboard.
Yep.
That's always kind of been a technical foul.
That's all. Yeah.
But hanging on the rim for a couple seconds, I mean, is that what we're really doing now? The biggest problem, in my opinion, in the NBA is that and what they're running into now is it's like, okay, all of a sudden now we're going to start teeing guys up for this stuff that they've been doing for years. Like how it always used to be back. I remember when the hanging on the rim was really they were really starting to look at it. It was that if there was anybody underneath you, you could hang on the rim because you didn't want to drop down, land on them, and twist your ankle, sprain your knee or something like that. So it was a safety thing. So that was always the indication there was that you can hang on the rim as long as there's somebody underneath you. So, and I haven't seen that technical foul on the rim called, other than, like you said, slapping the backboard, called in so long and then now they're all of a sudden starting to put the emphasis on it and do that stuff. So that's one thing that they've kind of let get away with. But the top, like the
the going back and forth and the just sit there and cry and whine like LeBron James, like Luka Doncic, like these guys that are up in that upper, like Joel Embiid, like guys like that. You can't let them cry, whine to you and not do anything. And then all of a sudden, now we're going to start penalizing you. Now we're going to start throwing technical fouls on you. And then you see what happened with Chris Paul and Foster. I think there was a little bit more of a history there between those two, which makes you wonder, why was even Foster even on that game? Why was he even working that game if there's a history there? And then you go back to brothers with you could look at brothers with the Nuggets here.
That guy.
That guy. Why is he even running? Why is he even working? And there's another official out there too. Zelensky's out there that has problems with certain guys. And you remember Joey Crawford back in the day? Was it Barkley that he used to always fight with? I want to say it was Barkley, but there was
that guy had problems with
he had problems with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a thing that you let it go on for so long that this is where we're at. Now you're going to start calling it. Okay, that's fine. Let's start calling it and get it out of the game. But we're going to have to see this night in and night out. Okay, well, this guy's going crazy. This guy's throwing a fit. He didn't get teed up. But all this guy did is turn around and said something to him, and he got teed up. So what's different than what this guy did and what this guy did? So now we're going to have to look at that. And now as fans, we're going to have to question all that. Players, coaches, probably going to have to do the same thing. Like, well, what can I say now if this dude has a quick whistle here on that? My goodness, what can I say or what can't I say? I don't know what to say. So we're going to have to go forward with that. And I don't know if there's anything that was sent out. I'm sure there was from the league, from the officials to the teams saying, hey, this is what we're not allowing. This is what we're going to call, blah, blah, blah. That probably was sent out there. But at the same time, that's still not black and white. That aspect is still not, because you're still having issues like this where one guy can basically roll around on the ground like a toddler. I'm talking about LeBron, and get up and nothing happens to him because you give him a technical foul. He gets another one. He's out of the game. But a dude like Nikola Jokic, best player in the world, in the first freaking quarter is going to get tossed.
Quick trigger
on that guy. And I got friends that were in Detroit, and they got tickets just to see Nikola Jokic, and he gets tossed that quick. So then you're going to run into that. Nobody's here to see the officials. That's number one. And I just think that there's inconsistency throughout the world of sports and the officials. And I don't know where it needs to change, because we're dealing with $1 million athletes who bring in millions of dollars eyes on the product. And it's just like, I'm not even going to say a fine line, because I don't know if there's a line at all anymore. I don't know, but there's a lot of inconsistencies on what's what and what's going to get you tossed, what's going to get you a whistle. And it's really annoying. It's really annoying, and it's hard to watch the game. It really is anymore.
Yeah. And even the Pistons, I think it was a play-by-play guy.
Yep.
I'm going to pull it up really quickly here. And he was even like, I don't know who the officials' names were, but he said, hey, we're not here to see you. We're not here to, like you just mentioned, guys are going there when Nikola Jokic is on the road, and the Nuggets struggled on their recent road trip. They're not there to see the officials. They're there to see, and they're not even there really to see the Pistons. Let's face it.
No, they weren't. Yeah, right.
So let me pull this up here, because I think I found it. So just a quick snippet of this. There you go. Whoever they are, right? Yeah, and I get it. Nikola took out his mouthpiece and kind of threw it. Any kind of gesture with props, I guess. But still, this dude, again, after every game, he looks like he's just gotten mauled by a Wolverine. He's sick of it. I'm glad that Malone got thrown out as well, because this has been boiling over for a couple games, a couple seasons, a couple years.
Couple years, yeah.
I mean, this dude is a two-time MVP, Finals MVP, NBA champion now, and he another triple-double under his belt. He's just climbing the ranks of greatness, and he gets zero calls, Matt. Zero. The Nuggets are last in the league. I don't know
Yeah.
if they are more, but last
Yeah.
in the league in free throw attempts.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling when you look at teams like Detroit, Houston, the teams that they've played shooting more free throws than they are. It doesn't. And I've looked into this a little bit, and I've read some things where they're saying that the reason why Nikola doesn't get these fouls is because he's hard to officiate, because he does things that are out of the ordinary, that are so that put defenders in such of a bad position that it's not that they're fouling him. It's just that Nicola's done so many things to put himself in a best. Like it was hard to read and understand, because you're saying that you're not going to reward a guy for playing the right way, and you're saying that why call the foul? He's going to make the basket anyway, because put him like it doesn't make any sense. That I watch Joel Embiid, and he's another big, right? He's another big. I watch him initiate contact so many times. And what I mean by that is, and you know this, Mike, the old pump fake, get the guy going up and then lean your shoulder into him and go up with the shot. That is textbook classic old school. And I thought they were trying to get this out of it.
Yeah, I thought they were done with that.
Yeah, me too, because Harden used to do it all the time. They were trying to crack down that. No. This guy does it all the time. He does it. He goes and initiate contact. Nikola Jokic, there needs to be like some kind of Joker rules, because these guys now, and especially since they're champions, and that's what the Nuggets too, I think are trying to get through here, is that not only are you going to get your best shot, every team that plays you, you're going to get their best shot, they're going to get up to play you. They're going to get up to be as dirty as they can on you too. They're going to try to get away with as much as they can. If I'm a coach and I'm playing the Nuggets and I see all this, I'm telling my guys, I'm sending bench guys in there to mug this guy, to maul these guys. Because what happens? They get pissed off, they get frustrated, and they might get technical fouls and thrown out of the game. That's what I'm doing, because I see it gets to them, and the refs aren't protecting these guys. It doesn't make any sense that I'm calling him 3-time MVP, because he should have won it last year. He's probably going to, if he stays the way he's going, he's probably going to win it again this year. Although if you ask Richard Jefferson, Kevin Durant's at the top of the freaking list. I'm not even going to get started on that. But it's just, and it's not even the lack of respect. It's not even that. It's just that there's not a way that they look at it. I can't understand it. I'm trying my best to understand what they're trying to call, what the purpose of letting Nikola get mauled like this is, because he does. My wife even says it. Like you said, he looks like he was attacked by a mountain lion. He looked like he was just beat up the entire time. But he should be at the foul. He should shoot at least 12 to 15 free throws a game. At least, maybe even more. Can you imagine if he did that, how many points he would have?
Yeah. And watching that Houston game the other night was hard to watch, because he even missed 4 free throws. And again, they were even talking about it, at least on the home broadcast. They were saying, it at this point it's just kind of fatigue, because he's just getting mauled so much. He's carrying a team without Jamal Murray, whatever. And again, the other night he did everything he could.
Everything.
Team, 38 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists. He should have probably had like 15 assists, but nobody else could make a bucket.
Right.
And Aaron Gordon went 0 for 12, like 2 for 6 from the free throw. It was bad. It was just a bad showing. And me and you were kind of messaging back and forth. I was like, they got to beat these no-names.
Right.
I mean, they came close to losing to Detroit. They came and somehow they came back and won that game without Malone and without Jokic. Mm-hmm. And then they go and lose to Orlando. I mean, come on. They go and lose to Houston again. You're just like, oh. But like you said, maybe they're just not foot all the way down on the gas quite yet. Although I would have liked to have seen them win this stupid NBA Cup. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to look like that. But maybe they're just kind of coasting until Jamal gets back. Who knows? But
it's weird. I have the vibes of like we had last like January, February. Remember when we were like, everybody was like, what the hell are they doing? And they just looked disinterested. They were just waiting for the playoffs. Now, I understand that feeling, but we can't do that in November. Like, we can't do that in November. And I feel like that this team is still doing what it kind of did last season too, is trying to dial in this bench, trying to figure out the rotation.
You got to figure out the bench because they had 8 bench points against Houston, 8, and 6 of it was Christian Brown.
Right. And I remember times last year where it was that sense where the starters would build a lead and then the bench would come in and give up the lead and then they'd have to go back and forth. And then they started, and what was happening this year and what you're not getting now is Jamal, in my opinion, Jamal's better when he staggers with the bench instead of Nikola, because Nikola's going to try to give everybody opportunities. Jamal's not. Jamal's going to shoot it. Mall's going to shoot that rock if he's got it open, and it lets other guys do other things instead of Joker. It's like, okay, like you're. Can you imagine playing with Nikola coming off the bench? Like, this guy's going to give me the ball. If I get open, this guy's going to give me the ball. I better make it. So these guys are kind of like there could be some stress level. There could be they're not. There could be amped up. There's a lot of things going on with this bench unit, and I think a lot of it has to do with Jamal being out because he's better at staggering with that bench unit than Nikola is or Aaron Gordon was or guys like that. And then when you take him out, you got Reggie Jackson start. I don't know if he's that kind of starter to be running with there. You take another bench guy out because what's Reggie do? Reggie shoots the ball. He's going to shoot it, and he's good to have on that bench unit. I think they need to figure this bench out. Or Booth, the one thing about this Nuggets bench is that there's a lot of pieces there, a lot of pieces that other teams could covet. And if they can't get right here in a hurry, then I think Booth is going to trade some guys to get some veteran guys in here or a guy or whatever it may be. And I think there's a lot of guys that are on the hot seat right now as far as they're looking at, hey, you guys don't start contributing or doing something. And Malone even said, you guys got to make the best of your minutes, and I'm going to start playing different guys if you guys can't do that. And I think Malone understands the situation. He's trying to get this bench right.
Yeah, and me and you messaging back and forth. We're like, yeah, this whole Zeke Najee experiment.
Oh yeah,
got to be over. I don't know why DJ hasn't played 1 minute. He put in some pretty good playoff minutes last season. He's going. Have him run with he's a good veteran leader that's on the bench. You see him kind of getting involved in huddles and stuff like that. You see him in the locker room when they allow access or whatever. But, he's a good guy to have out there, Matt, because you don't, like you said, Reggie has to be a starter now with Jamal out, and the bench doesn't have the point guard depth. You throw Colin Gillespie out there, that's fine, but he's not going to be a leader on the court because he's just not. He's
still a pup. He's still a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still raw, whatever you want to call it. He just seems to be in the wrong position at sometimes. I like Julian Strother, but he's super inconsistent. He scored 21 that one game and then came off the bench and scored 3. I mean, You got to have consistency off the bench, and you're without the veteran leadership of Bruce Brown and Jeff Green off that bench. You just don't have it. So I don't know why they haven't played DeAndre Jordan. I get you just paid Zeke and you got to play him, but he has just not shown up so far.
And I felt like if Zeke came in and did what we've seen him do and the glimpses that we've seen from Zeke, that this bench unit could be good. He's the guy. He's the next big to come off to do that what he needs to do, and he just hasn't done it. He gets out there and he just shrinks. He shrinks. He forgets he's big. He forgets what it doesn't make any sense because he's been. How long has he been here? What, three seasons at least, and he just, it seems like year after year he either gets injured. He either has because last year he was rolling. He was getting some good minutes, getting some good stuff going, and then he just gets hurt. But I'm with you, Mike. Like, it sucks that they paid him, but I'm with you. I think they paid him to say, hey, okay, we're putting confidence in you now. Go out there and prove us right, because they did that with MPJ. There's still people whining about the MPJ payment or his salary. I'm trying to say. There's still people crying about that, and his production doesn't meet his salary. And yeah, you could say that too with MPJ. I think there's a good chance that if this bench doesn't get right, we can see MPJ gone. We can see Najee gone. We can see I don't want to see Christian Brown gone, but you could see him gone. There's a lot of guys out there that the Nuggets that and Booth that they're looking at that are out there that they could say they could come in here and help this team. And these guys are tradable. I don't want to see some certain guys go, but it's just the way it is. If you can't find what you got now, then they're going to have to make a move, because I don't think that they're going to sit by and let this go, let this ride. We're just going to ride it out. I don't think they're going to this season.
Yeah, and you can't play Nikola 48 minutes a game. You just can't do it. So
no,
you got to figure something out with that bench. And yeah, when you're outscored 34-8 in a bench game against Houston, that's and Matt, how about this? 4 fast break points. That was it. And again, two of those points for Christian Brown again. I mean, it's just not a good look for the defending champ. So we'll see what kind of moves are made.
They need to lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in, lock it up. All right, the NCAA football season, regular season, has concluded. Next week we'll see a bunch of conference championships and things of that nature. Was a good one between Ohio State and Michigan yesterday, as Michigan took down Ohio State. Was a close one. The SEC championship, who else, Matt? Georgia, Alabama for that one. Big Ten championship, Michigan and Iowa. They'll go.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, the ACC championship, we'll see Florida State and Louisville. Probably another good one. The Big 12 championship, Matt, Oklahoma State and Texas. Pac-12 championship, Oregon and Washington. Washington having a very, very good season. So there you go. Those are the conference championship. The Neon Dion experiment, season 1 in the books, Matt. See you walking away with only 4 wins, losing 6 straight.
Yep.
To end the season. So say what you will about what happened at the beginning of the season. You know, everyone was excited, the TCU win, the Nebraska win, the close one against CSU, and then their skid kind of started, man. They've only won, one out of their last 8 games to end the season. So Deion Sanders, we'll see what season 2 has in store, but are you excited for the conference championship weekend next weekend?
I am. That Big Ten championship game, I think, is going to be the best. I think Georgia is going to absolutely hammer Alabama. Georgia's been the best team in the country this season, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think anybody's got anything for them. I really don't. I don't, and I don't know where the playoffs are going to shake up. But you look at that Ohio State team, which people were looking at saying that they could maybe do something. I don't. After what it was, I just don't see it. I just think it's Georgia's to win this year. That game, the most competitive game out of all those probably is going to be that it's either going to be Michigan or Iowa, or you look at the Pac-12 with Oregon and what Washington and Oregon can do there. Bo Nix, it's a good story. He's probably looked the most consistent out of all the quarterbacks that you have out there, because there's been Michael Penix has been pretty good, but he's kind of been up and down a little bit. It's again, it goes to that football not being as good as it has been, and you look at college football the same. It's either a blowout or you got some turmoil. And one thing I noticed too yesterday, Mike, is that there was all these guys, all these players that still have eligibility that are with a school, and they're posting like, "Oh, great season, thanks, coach. I'll have a decision later." Like, decision on what? Like, it's you're going to go into the portal now and go play for a different team. Like, this is what I think it's kind of messing with college football, in my opinion, where everybody's going everywhere. And I know CU is going to be a big benefit of these transfer portals, because Deion already said, we know what we need to get for Shador. We know what we need to do for him, and it's out there. But I don't know if I like these players coming up after the end of the season, after the last games, posting, "I had a great time here, but my decision is coming up here." That's kind of like, it's not amateur anymore. It's semi-pro. It's semi-pro football is basically what we're looking at here. If these guys are going to go and just play for different, and Dion even said it too. You look at the top teams and you look at what they're giving these guys, and he even did you hear he's like, we got to pay more, we got to invest more. That's what he's basically saying, and it's not. You can't be mad at him. You can't be mad at him for saying the quiet part out loud, because everybody was gonna is everybody's sitting there counting their money and paying these guys. Dion just said it out loud. So I don't know. I think the best game it could be that Big Ten championship, but don't sleep on that Pac-12. Everything else is going to be a blowout. Florida State, I don't know if they're going to even hold up because of that. They lost a quarterback, which is very, very unfortunate. I think Georgia's going to smoke Alabama. I really do. Think you're muted. Are you muted?
Of course I was muted. Some of the lesser known, I guess, conference championships. You have the Conference USA Championship. That'll be New Mexico State and Liberty. Liberty finished the season at number 25. And then you have the MAC Championship, Miami of Ohio. Good old Ben Roethlisberger's alma mater going up against Toledo. The Mountain West Championship has yet to be decided. They're still figuring that out. The American Athletic Championship will be SMU against Tulane. Tulane finished the season at number 23. Sunbelt Championship, Appalachian State, the team that, a lot of these big name schools pay to be kind of their tune-up, warm-up game to start the season. They will fight against Troy. DeMarcus Ware's alma mater. And then you have, that's about it. So we're waiting for the Mountain West Championship to figure themselves out. Otherwise, all the conference championships are pretty much set. Speaking of Iowa, Matt, ordered me a fresh new Caitlin Clark jersey.
I got to get one.
Haven't got it yet, but how about that, Matt? The first ever college basketball jersey I've ever purchased, and it's Caitlin Clark.
Dude, she's something, man. And I've been watching a lot of women's college basketball, and it has been really freaking good. I watched the CU Lady Buffs get their doors blown off yesterday, but it was a good loss. I know that sounds crazy, but they learned. I feel like they went through a lot in that loss that's going to help. I think the Lady Buffs, they're going to be a threat. I wouldn't be. I'm calling it now at least Elite Eight. If they stay healthy and they keep doing what they're doing, they're at least Elite Eight. And real quick, Mike, that's the biggest. Like I love college football playoffs, but we don't have college football playoffs in D1. We got it in D2. We got to give a shout out to the best football team in this state, the Colorado School of Mines, the Ore Diggers, who's probably has the best player in football on their team right now. The dude scored more touchdowns than anybody in college football, in the history of college football. And, I mean, they just smoked Augustina, I should say, 56-10 in a blistering cold game. Yeah. But that is just gotten underway. They play Central Washington next week, but that bracket is going. Again, if you like bracket-style playoff football in college, go check out the D2 playoffs because that's where it's at. A lot of good football there, a lot of great stuff going on there. But, yeah, we got to give a shout-out to the School of Mines who are just smoking everybody in their path. And they're on their way to a deep – because they lost last year in the chat. I think they're right on their way again to go play in that game again. So, shout-out to the Ore Diggers.
Yeah, shout-out to some of their announcers, Josh Dover and Miles Dunklin, by the way, two Colorado Media School homies as well. So, shout-out to them. Yeah, Caitlin Clark, by the way.
Big shout-out.
Yeah, scored 21 points again. Iowa, how about this? Sank 23s. 23-pointers on their way to blowing out a FGSU, 100-63. And I'm trying to look up, again, zero research, all reaction. Is that Florida Gulf Coast University? Is that what FG?
Yeah, sure. It could be. Florida or, Frankfurt, Franktown. I don't know. Could be.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up what they are. But
did you see her blow up that so she was playing she was on offense and somebody was trying to D her up. I don't know what they were trying to do, but this girl got right in her chest and was putting on her, and Caitlin was trying to move, and she ended up just blowing through her and pushed her on and just blew her up. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah,
she's a Caitlin Clark is probably she's one of the best basketball players in the and don't sleep on Rivers from NC State. That girl can ball too, but I'm telling you, man, I've just been there are so many good storylines and good basketball with the women's and NCAA women's, and you look at LSU, what's going on with Kim Mulkey, Angel Reese, she got suspended. Now,
yeah,
but you got Haley Van Lith there.
She really can't see her now because she's not playing.
Nope, because she's on the bench because apparently her grades are bad, getting in fight with other teammates' mom. But LSU's going to be okay because they got Haley Van Lith there, and I think Haley Van Lith is she's a little bulldog, man. That girl can play ball, so they're going to be okay. But there's a lot of stuff going on with women's basketball that I'm excited about.
And then shout out to the Colorado State men's basketball team.
Oh yeah.
Blowing out Creighton last Thursday on Thanksgiving.
Big win.
69-48 in the Hall of Fame Classic. Number 8 Creighton, by the way, taken down by CSU. So as we turn the page to college basketball, the women's I want to say maybe the Sweet 16 on, all the way to the Final Four and so on. That was some good basketball last season. And so LSU ended up taking it all, but that was fun to watch last season. So, I mean, a lot of good stuff on the docket coming up. So, it's fun to watch. I can't wait to. And
the Lady Buffs took Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Hawkeyes down to the wire. I think they only lost by 10. So, I mean, they're there. Like, it's there. Like, I'm excited about the season for sure.
All right, let's finish up as we always do, running down through these slates of NFL games. Again, we already touched on the 4 that already happened, 3 on Thanksgiving, 1 on Friday. Starting this one off with the AFC North matchup, Matt. 2 teams that are kind of – it's weird to say this in Week 12, Matt, but 2 teams that are trying to find their identity still, and that is the 6-4 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 5-5 Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow with another injury, he's probably out for the season.
Yeah.
So what do you do there if you're Cincinnati? I know they just re-signed or re-brought up to their active roster McCarron's. He was on the Roughnecks in the, is it the XFL or AFC or USFL or whatever it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it Canadian football, the Roughnecks?
Well, he just came up from
he just came up? Yeah, okay.
Because
did you see? I know I'm going off top, but Chad Kelly, he was like named the Canadian Football Player of the year or the MVP award, essentially, something like that. Anyway, sorry.
Is it the championship, the Grey Cup? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Grey Cup.
Cup, by the way.
Yeah, another cup, right? Another freaking cup. Give me a break.
I think you can drink out of that one. So I guess it is a cup. I don't know. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2.5-point favorites on the road in this one. And I guess when you don't have Joe Burrow going up against Kenny Smallhands Pickett, I guess you become the favorite, I guess. I don't even know who the Bengals are going to start at quarterback. I know A.J. McCarron's, again, they just brought him up. So, as I go through Jake Browning, is that who we're going with?
I think so. I think that's and it's got to be him.
So on their roster, on their depth chart at quarterback, Jake Browning, A.J. McCarron, Drew Plitt is, I guess, on their active roster as well. Couldn't tell you who any of these dudes are. So
didn't Browning play? He played for Washington, I think, didn't he?
Well, he played a couple weeks ago too.
The college. I think he played for college.
He played a couple weeks ago too when Joe Burrow was hurt.
That's right. Yep.
So anyway, Pittsburgh 2.5-point favorites at home. So I guess I'll go with the Steelers. They still got a pretty decent defense. Fitzpatrick is out for this one, and also Adams, their big defensive tackle, is out. So I don't know if you're looking at any of Cincinnati's quarterbacks. Again, probably going to be Jake Browning, but stay away from anything Cincinnati offense, I guess, because maybe Joe Mixon, if you have him, because they might be running the ball instead of throwing the ball. Joe Mixon, 605 yards on the season for touchdowns. So say what you will, Jamar Chase having a decent season. Again, that's probably what Joe Burrow throwing him the ball, 833 and 6 touchdowns. I'll go with Pittsburgh on the road, Matt.
Yeah, it's another example of, crappy quarterbacking on both sides. It's a game where you tune in to watch it. You're like, what am I going to get excited? It's usually an AFC North game. You get excited, right? Those are bludgeon games, dead. But this is probably going to be 13-9. And Steelers are probably I give the edge to the Steelers because, like you mentioned, you got the Mike Tomlin factor. That defense is still rolling, and a defensive MVP potentially, and Watt there. But give me the Steelers. But it's again, this is going to be a boring ass game. There's nothing to get me excited to be like, oh, is this game on? I want to watch that game. Nothing. Steelers. I got Steelers.
All right, yeah, it's gonna be a barn burner, Matt, as they say. All right, another AFC matchup with the AFC South first place division title on the line for Jacksonville. Houston creeping up, Matt, creeping up. The 7-3 Jaguars heading into Houston 6-4. Jacksonville a 1.5 point favorite on the road. Trevor Lawrence 2,300 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. C.J. Stroud, probably the rookie of the year, Matt. He's 38 yards away from 3,000 on the season already, Matt. 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Singletary for Houston, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Etienne Jr., 7 touchdowns on the ground. Christian Captain Kirk is your leading receiver for Jacksonville, 3 touchdowns. And Collins for Houston, 4 touchdowns. Everyone's pretty healthy, I would say. A couple defensive players knocked up for Houston here. Jimmy Ward, the safety, and Jake Hansen, the linebacker. Other than that, did you know that Case Keenum is on Houston? I did not know he was back up there.
I did hear that he ended up back over there. Yeah, but it's like huh? Yeah. Now I you know what? Give me Houston in this one. Because the way that they're playing, and I don't have any confidence in the Jaguars. I don't have any confidence in Trevor Lawrence. Houston's already beat them once, and it was pretty handily too, if I can remember right. But I just don't. I don't think that. I think the way that this team, the season's going, Houston's up, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've had chances to really blow up, but then when they get that chance, they just kind of wet the bed a little bit. In big games, like I'm talking about San Francisco when they got mollywopped by them. So I give me Houston in this one. And this is also, I'm sure we're going to get to it again. Denver better relax they better get prepared for this because I think Houston might be the best team that they've played coming in here in the next couple of weeks. I think they play them next week or the week after, I think. But anyway, outside of all the teams that they played, Houston could be the toughest game that they have this season when they get to them, just because of how young and how mirroring that they can be with everything DeMeco Ryans has going on over there. But yeah, give me Houston in this one.
Yeah, by the way, week 3, Texans beat Jacksonville 37-17 in Jacksonville.
Smoked them. Yep.
This one's going to be at home. Yeah, I like Houston at home as well. Another kind of southern matchup, although it's the NFC South versus another AFC South team. The 4-6 Buccaneers head into the 5-5 Indianapolis Colts. And, we saw Anthony Richardson get hurt earlier this season. I had to personally bench him. And now that that's kind of taken off, it's been fine. But Gardner Minshew, leading the charge, I guess, for the Colts, 8 touchdowns, 6 picks. Baker having a decent season in his first year in Tampa, 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Moss, your leading receiver for the Colts, 5 touchdowns. On the ground, 5 touchdowns. Pittman Jr., your leading receiver, 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans for Tampa, 7 touchdowns. Everyone's pretty healthy for the Tampa Bay on offense. Rashad White, the running back, is questionable. Everyone's kind of questionable on defense, who's on there. And that includes Devin White, the linebacker. So if you have Tampa's defense, keep that in mind. Everyone's pretty healthy for the Colts as well. Ogletree, their tight end, is out, but that's about it. Everyone's pretty much healthy. Indianapolis, Matt, 3-point favorites at home. I might take those 3 points.
I'm taking them. Give me the Colts. And again, another game with
So
great quarterback play. I can't wait. Yeah, it's like what I'm going to tune in to watch the Colts and the Buccaneers because it's going to be a tremendous football game. Really? There's nothing that says that this is going to be a tremendous football game. So yeah, give me the Colts in this one. But it's just another example of dog butt football. It's just of dog water quarterback position. It's just another example. But give me the Colts in this one. Give me the Colts.
All right, another NFC South matchup. The 5-5 New Orleans Saints head into the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons. New Orleans 2.5-point favorites on the road. Derek Carr having an okay season his first year in Nolans. 2,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 picks. Desmond Ridder 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He is on the. Did they already bench him? By the way, I thought
they benched him a couple times. Yeah, they did. Is he playing today?
I don't know, honestly. Well,
I feel like they went, but I think Heineke might be hurt because I think he was dealing with something, so they had to go back to him. But yeah, I think he did get benched at one point.
Yeah. Taylor Heineke, who we saw with Washington the last couple of seasons, he's questionable, by the way, with a hamstring.
Yeah, so he did get hurt, yeah.
Yeah, so not sure if we'll see Heineke on the field, or he's questionable with a hamstring. So, but everyone's pretty much healthy for both of these teams besides Heineke, I guess. Atlanta, I don't trust either of these teams, Matt, but I'll take New Orleans on the road.
I got New Orleans too. You look at the way, like, again, this could be. I look at the Saints. They could be better than what they are. Carr, he's been hurt a couple times this season. He hasn't played a couple games, but he hasn't looked awful. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of pieces there with the Saints for them to be good and to be really good in that division. So it's the Saints. I think if you look at them, they're like they could be better. But yeah, give me the Saints in this game. The Falcons. They're just. I mean, there's some pieces there too. I think the coach is pretty good that they have there, but I just don't. I don't think in this game. Yeah, give me the Saints in this game.
Moving on to two teams that are in shambles right now. You talk about shambles, Matt. When's the last time we said the 2-8 New England Patriots head into the 3-8 New York Giants? This is going to be a fun one. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be for New England. They're 4-point favorites on the road. The Giants are a mess. It is just bad all around. I mean, fantasy wise, I'm not touching any of these dudes. Daniel Jones was placed on the IR. I don't know what you do here, Matt. I know New England's favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if both teams lost this game somehow.
Right. I agree. I agree.
They could end in a 0-0 tie for all I care. I don't know. This would normally be a coin flip game for me, Matt. Who are you going with?
This is like when I go out in the backyard and I go to clean up dog poop. And I don't start with the messy dog poop because that's kind of a pain. I start with the good solid ones. I look at the Patriots and the Giants and it's like one of these teams is a good solid turd and the other one's like a messy drippy turd. I don't know which one I want to mess with, but I usually go for the solid turd, and I'm going to go with the solid turd. And just because they got the biggest solid turd we can ever, the Bronco country, especially here, can think of, and Bill Belichick, I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. But it's a battle of poop, and I'm going to take the solid turd instead of the runny, messy one in the Giants. So yeah, and like you said, Mike, this could go. They could both lose this game, so we could both be wrong. But let's say, hey, let's go with this. I like what you said. Let's go in a 0-0 tie. Nobody wins this game because the viewer's not going to win this game. The viewer's not going to win watching this game.
Of course not. By the way, going back to the Falcons, Arthur Smith, their head coach. Did you know his dad is the founder of FedEx?
No, really?
Yeah, his dad.
I didn't know that.
Frederick Smith founded FedEx. So.
I wonder if he knew, Tom Hanks pretty well, and was.
He's the one who sent him the package with the.
Did he send him that? Was he the one? He's responsible.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, boom.
All
It's all
right,
coming together.
another fantastic game is the 1-9 Carolina Panthers head into the 3-7 Tennessee Titans. Although Will Levi's Jeans, he has looked okay in his first couple of starts with the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee 3.5-point favorites. Derrick Henry, kind of not the numbers we're used to. And
Oh
again,
my God.
Tennessee offense has been, like you mentioned, dog poop. And the DeAndre Hopkins, although starting the season slow, has since come on just a little bit for the Titans. Everyone's pretty much healthy on both sides. Andy Dalton, questionable for the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, number one, kicking themselves for not drafting C.J. Stroud, kicking themselves for trading away Christian McCaffrey. So they are in a world of hurt. By the way, the more they keep losing, the more the Bears keep winning. Bears could potentially have the number 1 and number 2 overall picks in next year's NFL draft. So that could be interesting, especially with their, I guess, quote unquote quarterback mess that they have there. But we'll get to them here in a second, man. This another one is a mess. They're both crap. I'll just go with Tennessee just because they're at home.
I give me Tennessee too. Derrick Henry has been an absolute disappointment on the field and fantasy football. I'm surprised he wasn't traded. There's just I don't know what the heck's going on in Tennessee. Typically, you would look at that team and say the culture's good, but they're in shambles without a quarterback. And give me the Titans here. Poor Panthers. We all said it. We all saw. You could see that the little fella was not the right pick at quarterback. It's just not. And you're seeing that right now. Another turdish game. Give me the Titans in this one. But I'm looking at this, Mike, and I'm looking at the slate of games, and we just went through the Patriots, Giants, 2-8, 3-8, Panthers, Titans, 1-9, 3-7, and then we're going to talk about the Rams and Cardinals. I'm guessing is what's next. 4-6, 2-9. Football's garbage. I'm just saying, football is garbage right now. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, we might as well just skip over this one. I'll just take the Rams on the road.
I'll take the Rams too. I got the Rams too.
All right, another interesting one, at least in an AFC West matchup. The 7-3 Kansas City Swifts go into the Las Vegas Raiders. KC, biggest spread so far, 9.5-point favorites on the road. Obviously, not much you can say about the Chiefs' offense. By the way, going back. Well, we'll get to it. Just give me a second here. Kansas City on the road. This is going to be an interesting one, Matt, because if Vegas wins, all of a sudden they're thrusted into kind of the I guess, wild card picture. I won't go all the way as to say division picture, but it's going to be interesting, especially if Vegas and Denver wins today. That wild card race is going to be fascinating to end the season. Max Crosby is doubtful for the Vegas defense, although he said he's going to play. Everyone pretty much healthy on the Chiefs defense. Offensively, they're kind of banged up. Mecole Hardman is on the IR. Tony, their other receiver who can't catch a pass, he is out. And then Jerick McKinnon is out. So a lot of, I wouldn't say key players, but a lot of role players are out for the Chiefs in this one. But I'm still going to go with Kansas City on the road.
You know, I there's a couple parallels with the Chiefs and the Nuggets because Mahomes and Joker are like basically carrying these teams right now, and it's the same thing with the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they like you mentioned, you mentioned those people that were out, but even when those guys were in, they haven't really contributed. The Chiefs are 7-3 because they have Pat Mahomes, and that defense hasn't been as bad as it's been in years, and kind of keeping them in games, kind of keeping them around. But I love violence. I love toxicity, and the Raiders winning today in the city. The Raiders winning today would create so much drama. And for the Chiefs, and I want to see that tomorrow. I want to see all those sports entertainers on those shows going crazy because Pat Mahomes lost again to another AFC West opponent, and they lose, man. It really creates a lot of things. So I'm rooting for that, and I hope the Raiders win today. It's crazy to say you root for the Raiders, but honestly, I'd rather root for the Raiders than the Chiefs. because I hate the Chiefs more than the Raiders. So give me the Raiders in this one because I'm choosing violence and I want to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, he wants to see anarchy, is what you're
I
saying.
do. I want to see anarchy. I want to see, just turmoil and
something to make football exciting this season.
yes, something.
The
Because
toxicity in our city. There you go.
in our city.
All right, another mid-afternoon game, another AFC matchup. We just kind of touched on it. The 7-3 Cleveland Steamers head into the 5-5 Denver Broncos. How about this? Although Cleveland's 7-3, Matt, Denver 2-point favorite at home because they are on a 4-game winning streak. I guess that's why they are favored. Russell Wilson having a way better year, Matt. Just over 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 4 interception. How about this, Matt? Him passing the ball, he's 205 for 297. That is fantastic efficiency.
Yeah.
Fantastic efficiency from Russell Wilson, Matt. His completion percentage is 69%. There you go. Nice. Good number there. Deshaun Massage Parlor Watson, he is, of course, out. So we are going to see, what's his name? DRC, is that his initials? Dominic Marty, is that who's starting for the Cleveland Browns?
Is it TTR? Yeah, it's something like that.
Close, close. It's DTR, yeah, like
DTR.
Dorian Thompson Robinson, PJ Walker, and again, Shane Falco was just signed to their roster the other day. Good old Joe Flacco.
Jeez. And I hate when people say former Bronco. I don't really consider him a former Bronco.
Yeah, so is Case Keenum.
But this game
is Paxton Lynch a former Bronco? Because we could see him play for the Jets.
Trevor's a former Bronco, yeah, for sure. But this game, this is a big test. Defense. This is a big test for the offense. I don't think the defense is going to have a lot of trouble if they don't give up stupid big plays, especially in the run game. Because Cleveland's going to come out and gash you and want to ram the ball down your throat because that's the only thing they can do. That's all that they're going to do. And did you see what that quarterback, TRC or whatever the hell his name is, what he walked in wearing last week? Good night of living that dude looks. Oh, my God. Anyway, give me the Broncos in this one. They're at home. I think they're rolling. I think they got something going. They got as long as they don't let Russell go out there and cook, we're supposed to cook like meat and potatoes today. And if he tries to fancy it up and throw some succotash in there, this might go down bad, but let him go out there, run the football, pound the rock, keep that completion percentage up with those short little passes to, and I don't know why all of a sudden people are complaining, throwing the raw ball to the running back and picking up 6 to 7 yards, like yards an attempt. I don't know what's wrong about that, but apparently people have a problem with it. Keep doing the things.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball. Now we got to put that Glavin and Maddox commercial up again because that's freaking tremendous.
The other day,
it's so good. Give me the Broncos in this one, and I think that if they keep doing, if they stick to the plan, run the football, they'll win this game because I don't think Cleveland's going to score a lot of points. It's going to be cold. It's going to be one of those games, but give me the Broncos and quick order chef Russell Wilson in this one.
Yeah, and the over-under I think is kind of high for two good defenses, 37.5. What are you doing with that?
It's 37.5. I mean, Vegas knows what they're talking about, but gross. That they're just getting you to take the under there, I think. They're getting you to take it. I probably would.
It's a pretty high number for two good defensive teams who don't score a lot.
And that don't score a lot of points. And then you got Cleveland on the other side that has TRT, D4, DR2.
D2, yeah.
The RTD, yeah, he's playing quarterback, and I take the under in that one. Holy smokes! But yeah, give me the Broncos.
There you go. All right, as we keep it rolling here, we skip those two crap games. All right, the 6-5 Buffalo Bills head into the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles only a 3-point favorite at home, despite the Bills not only coming off a a win. Well, they beat the Jets. Coming off a couple losses to Cincinnati Broncos back to back, getting back on track against the Jets, which, again, take that for what you will. Philadelphia beat the Chiefs last week on Monday night. So I'm going Philadelphia all the way here, man. We always talk about the Bills window being closed, whatever. Colin, who filled in for you last week, Matt, said that window is closed. Like, this is their chance to not only finally get to a Super Bowl but win one is closed. So Josh Allen, still a pretty good, pretty efficient quarterback, although he's thrown 12 interceptions on the season. Jalen Hurts, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So both of these guys will turn the ball over given the opportunity. Although, Philadelphia's defense has kind of made up for the deficiencies on offense, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills' defense has been suspect at best. So, Dawson Knox was put on IR the other day, so he is out. Everyone else pretty much healthy on both sides. Dallas, I almost said Dallas Gobert. Dallas Goedert is out, the tight end. Both of their tight ends are out. Tight ends are out for the Eagles, Matt. Grant, I'm going to butcher this last name, Katera, he is out, and then Dallas Goedert is out. So no tight ends for the Eagles in this one, but I'm still going Philly at home.
No ends that are tight this week for them, but I got Philly at home too. Although it could be a close game, this could be one of those games where you see Josh Allen go crazy. And another example of the top tier quarterbacks in the league with Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, who are nowhere near the top tier in this league because of we've talked about it, the struggles that Jalen Hurts had with turning the ball over. The same thing with Josh Allen. It's going to give us another example of defensive football on this one. The defenses are going to have to really. What's the over under on this one?
Let me pull it back up. But yeah, I mean, both of these guys, again, given the opportunity, are going to turn the ball over. I think Philadelphia's defense a little bit better than Buffalo's. Over under 48.5.
Wow. I take the under in this one too. I really would. I just don't see these guys scoring that many points. But give me Philly because they're home. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think this could be a watchable game. But I mean,
weather-wise too is going to hold up. 50 degrees and sunny in Philly today.
Oh wow. Well, maybe it will be. I'm thinking like 38 degrees, cold weather. So like 50 degrees. Yeah. Maybe it could be. Maybe they could score a lot of points. I don't know, but I think it'll be a closer game and more competitive game than what we would think of just seeing what the Bills have done. Yeah, Philly. That was a big win they got against KC. And did you see what's the coach's name? Satorani. What the hell's his name? I almost cussed there. He was walking into the tunnel screaming, "Take that, KC fans," or blah 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 blah. Just so freaking annoying. But yeah, give me the Eagles here.
He's the same guy who played rock paper scissors at one point. So
I thought he was going to be an absolute boob as a head coach when he first got in there.
And then he wins a Super Bowl.
All
right, Sunday night game, man. The 8-3 Baltimore Birds head into the 4-6 Los Angeles Chargers that don't work. The Ravens are 3-point favorites on the road. I thought it'd be a little bit more than that, to be honest with you. Lamar doing Lamar things, 2,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Also a few more on the ground as well. Justin Herbert, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks. So the Chargers are losing in spite of Herbert having a pretty decent season. Austin Eckler, 4 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 7 touchdowns through the year. How about Edwards, the running back for Baltimore? 10 rushing touchdowns already on the season. Odell Beckham Jr. is questionable. Zay Flowers is questionable, so I don't know who. Mark Andrews is out, so I don't know who Lamar's throwing the ball to. He's just like, F it, I'm running. So there you go. No tight ends that are tight either for the Chargers, Matt. Gerald Everett and Nick Vannett are both – well, Vannett's for sure out. Gerald Everett is questionable, so he's a game-time decision. And, of course, Joey Bosa got hurt last week. He is on IR. The over-under in this one, Matt, another 48.5 game.
Wow. I mean, this one could be because
– yeah, it might reach that one in this one.
It might reach that one with the way A Bear, don't call him Herbert, has been playing. He's yeah, he's the perfect example of don't cut your nose off to spite your face or some whatever that means. Brandon Staley's a dog butt coach. I don't know why he wasn't fired last year. It's crazy that he wasn't. He should be fired because that defense should be. I understand Bosa. I understand there's injuries and stuff like that. Guys getting hurt and going down, but that defense should still be better. And it's the reason why this Chargers team isn't winning and isn't as good as it should be with the quarterback play they're getting from Herbert. So give me Baltimore in this one. I don't trust Staley to make the right decision when he needs to, and he's one of those coaches that he's just dead man walking at this point. Especially if they lose here, I wouldn't be shocked if he's fired today or this week at least.
Or yeah, maybe wait till after the season, I guess. But I don't know. Runs are possible somewhat, but I'm going Baltimore on the road in this one, despite her face.
Spite her face.
Despite your jersey. So
this is a LaDainian Tomlinson jersey. That's what I always tell people. This is not a Chargers jersey.
That's not an LA Chargers jersey.
No.
That's a San Diego Chargers jersey.
This is San Diego.
Yes, which we all know it means.
We all know what it means. So.
What it means. All right, the Monday night game, another good one. Monday night, the NFC North is going at it. The 3-8 Chicago Bears head into the 6-5 Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins obviously out, so we've seen Josh Dobbs. I don't know if you've seen the memes of his parents. They're pretty funny. Go and look. They had no interest in football, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. Justin Fields, I guess, is back for the – I don't say, define back.
Is he back?
Define back for me.
Is he back?
Is his back turned? Fields still? Both of these teams were kind of a mess, but Minnesota kind of figured themselves out when they were able to make that trade for Dobbs. But they have they obviously lost to the Broncos, and that was coming after 4 straight wins. So Minnesota probably fired up to get back on track. Bears just suck. They've only won 2 out of their last 5, and they barely beat Carolina, which is good for them because the more more Carolina loses, the more the Bears win in the draft. Justin Jefferson, there's a lot of kind of that wonder and rumors that he was going to be back, but he is going to be out. So he is not playing in this game. Don't take anyone on the Bears. And if you're looking for anybody, maybe DJ Moore. Him and Justin Fields finally have found that connection. DJ Moore on the season, 6 touchdowns. So give me Minnesota at home, Matt. I just don't know. Minnesota's only 3-point favorites at home. Over under, man, 43.5. That's kind of high.
Wow.
I don't know. Minnesota might get 43 by themselves.
Yeah, they could, maybe you're talking like 38 to 6 or something. I don't know. But yeah, give me Minnesota in this one. It's hard to look at the Bears and really feel like that they
number one with their quarterback issues, and number 2 when their head coach last name looks like the flute that Ron Burgundy plays in Anchorman.
Right. Or like a cough drop that I like, the Ricola.
Did you take your Eberflus this morning?
Did you take your – exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. But, give me Minnesota. I don't – even if Justin Jefferson was in that game last week, I think things could have been different because I don't think enough people are putting a lot on as much – of credit to the Denver Broncos for winning that game last week as they should, because Minnesota's a good football team. Defensively, they're good. Defensively, they do things that confuse you and make it difficult for an offense with what Brian Flores does, that amoeba defense that he does, where everybody's standing on the line. You don't know where they're going to go. Then they bail out at the last minute. I watch guys on Twitter or X trying to break down the film. I'm like, you don't know what you're looking at, number one. Just because you have NFL in your Twitter handle doesn't mean you know what you're looking at. And I think that the Minnesota Vikings are a lot better than what their record says. I don't know if it's the quarterback position. You can blame Kirk Cousins. I know he's sitting in his den watching the football game, probably watching our show right now, covered in a blanket because he's healing up from because that's what he likes to do. And I just don't know what went wrong for Minnesota. There's so much there. I think the coach, I think O'Donnell's a good coach there. So I think Minnesota is underachieving this year, but give me Minnesota in this game for sure because I'm gonna have to take some Eberflus after this. I can feel something coming down, So
Yeah, make sure you get that.
We'll get that in my system for sure.
By the way, the meme that I was talking about has a picture of Josh Dobbs' parents in the stands, and I lost it.
Did you hear? I think they were saying that his parents. Go ahead.
All right, this is what the meme says. It says Josh Dobbs' parents look like they're reconsidering making the interstellar trip from Alpha Centauri to Earth to watch the son they conceived in a space lab face defeat against a guy who doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Oh, that's hilarious. Did you hear that that his parents since he started playing football has been to every game except for maybe one or two that he's played
because they look like they could care less.
Right, it's like football. Did you do your homework? Did you play the violin yet? You can't play you can't play football until you get at least 10 minutes of violin practice in. Did you play with your chemistry strat? It's crazy that they have all that. And that dude's smart, man. He's not a bad football player, but I don't think he's not Pat Mahomes. That's just
By the way, another big issue with officiating and referee or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, here in Denver, Kareem Jackson has been suspended for another 4 games. I mean, this has been a hot button topic, man. This is his second suspension of the season. His first one got lowered from 4 to 2. This one, of course, upheld because of, let's face it, he's a past offender.
That's the only reason.
I mean, there was a lot of people kind of going both ways on the hit, Matt. What was your take? Do we just give them flags already?
Yeah, we give them flags.
Lingerie league, maybe?
Lingerie league. We need to go back to. They hit harder than what's going on now. Yeah, that hit really sent me into I'm ready for flags because the only reason why he was suspended, you already said it, is because of his past. Because that play wasn't flagged on the field. That play hasn't been flagged on the field this season. There was Justin Simmons posted a picture of him with the same almost identical play, or there's been several plays that I can remember. You go back to last season, Russell Wilson had the same kind of a play in the Kansas City game. There was a game this year where you've seen the same kind of situation. Whenever a ball carrier or quarterback, for this, we're talking about a quarterback now, turns into a ball carrier and that hit, you don't get that flag. So I am upset because he got suspended when the play wasn't even flagged on the field. The officials on the field didn't think that was a penalty. They didn't flag it. So the league, Runyan or whatever his name, I think it's Runyan, just has a problem. We got to get this out of the league. Okay. But there's no consistency here. And again, same thing with the NBA. It's the same thing in the NFL. The money that's involved in these games for the owners, for the players, for the fans, for the everybody that's associated here, it's crazy that how there needs to be some kind of consistency, some kind of black and white situations that we as fans, us as people that are viewing, can understand, because we're just left with more questions week after week on why was this, why was it this here, why wasn't it called, why is it being called? Nobody knows what's going on. I can pull rules from the rule book, from the NFL operations, all I want, but those rules aren't being applied the way that they're written. They aren't being applied. There's a consistency problem, and it needs to be fixed. I don't know how they fix it. I really don't, but it needs to be fixed. And I don't agree with the flag on the field in that play, and I don't agree with him being suspended. Other than he's already been suspended for the same kind of situation, so I can see that. But as far as what actually happened, was horrible for him to get suspended for.
Right. And by the way, yeah, get the nerds in these front offices, just in all the offices, league offices, get these nerds out of there.
Get football guys in there.
Yeah.
But is it?
By the way, speaking of nerds and actual people who've played the game, did you see the exchange between Skip Bayless and Richard Jefferson?
Oh, that was classic.
Yeah.
That was classic, man.
Speaking of nerds. By the way,
speaking of nerds,
here's another nerd photo. By the way, that meme I was talking about. They just look like they want to blow up the Earth. First of all, and
what are we gonna do today? Same thing we do every day. Take over the world. Try to take over the world.
The old pinky in the brain. There you go. Yeah, it's just give them flags already. Let's get this. Yeah. Number one, you won't get stupid penalties. Number two, you won't see any injuries. Number three, I mean, that's what the Pro Bowl is nowadays anyway. So
it's flags. Get us ready for and put a hula hoop around the quarterback, right? No, so if you touch
put them in a hamster bubble with controls.
Oh, yeah, that's even better.
Yeah, put them in a big bubble and just it's like Madden. The quarterback's just playing Madden. Don't even have them be near the center. Just have them stand like 10 yards back of the line of scrimmage. And it's like Madden. He just pushes a button and that's where the ball goes.
It's like a 7-on-7 drill. Just drop back and pass and have and that's another reason why too, Mike, that I have not enjoyed watching football is because of this, is because of the officiating. It's so like, it's like, are we really, like, we can't see that? Like that was, I mean, there's plays that need to be eliminated from the league, like the blindside block. But we saw a case yesterday in the CU Utah game. They got dotted a blindside block. Number one, did you remember the punt return real quick? He didn't step out of bounds. Okay. Number one, he didn't step out of bounds. Number two, that was not a blindside block. That was not by rule. That was not a blindside block.
Yeah. So, and again, we thought the pump fake, body up in a guy was gonna be taken out of the NBA, and we still see guys get away with doing that. Remember the emphasis was kicking the leg out after a jump shot.
Yep.
And that, I mean, like you said, be consistent. They're just bringing in emphasis every year when it should be an emphasis every season. And they just keep picking and choosing what they want to do. And it's just, there's no rapport, there's no consistency, there's no nothing. So, yeah, just clean it up, guys. Let's just clean it up. Again, if you want to see better hitting, like Matt just said, go watch the Lingerie League. So that's where we are. I don't know if Matt chugged out or not. We lost picture, Matt. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I know definitely cannot hear me as well. But that's going to do it for us anyway. We are near the end, and we are going to wrap it up. So thank you for tuning in and listening. Don't forget to go to socials, like everything on socials, on Facebook. Go to Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Follow us on Instagram at Elevation 5280 Radio. Follow Matt at HouseDadMatt or me at SportsJunkie25. Follow us on X. Gonna give it to you at 5280 Sports Radio, at Matt Mascarenas1, and I am at Michael Spillin. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Same as the Twitter handle at 5280 Radio. And there is Matt. By the way, before we get out of here, Matt, what did you think of CM Punk's re-entrance into the WWE?
Oh man, I went crazy. The power just, I don't know what happened. Everything just went, but I'm back.
Blurry. We can hear you.
I don't know what happened, but man, that was awesome last night. That was that's why I love professional wrestling. That's why I love professional wrestling. It was tremendous. I'm trying to work on getting Stranglehold back up, but I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. That's a pro wrestling show. I'd love to I really want to talk about what happened last night because that changes the landscape of wrestling big time going forward. If you're a professional wrestling fan, it was awesome. I was throwing things across, waking everybody up in the neighborhood. It was so badass. I felt like a kid again.
Yeah, he's gotten a little gray, but good.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
he's got a little gray in there. His hair, and I mean And I don't know if you saw all those people getting all the other superstars, the wrestlers getting pissed off. That's a part of the show, and it's man, I'm pumped. I'm excited.
All right, yeah. Hopefully, we get to hear a little bit more about not only your reaction, but about Stranglehold and WWE. So hope to hear. Maybe we'll have a segment etched out next week on the Wheelhouse right here. 80 Sports and a lifestyle. But that's going to do it for us. For Matt Mascarenas, hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. By the way, before Matt Mascarenas, I am Michael Spill, and we will talk to you next week.
Don't throw a flag on me.